Mr. Vaishnaw is one of the government's key technocrats, alumnus of IIT Kanpur and Wharton, handles some of the government's key economic ministries and very important initiatives like those on AI, semiconductors, Vande Bharat, electronics. And Mr. Vaishnaw, you had a very busy day today. There's been a cabinet meeting, a cabinet briefing, and I'm told you were you're coming straight from the Rail Bhavan with meetings with railway officials. Thanks very much for making time for Rising Bharat, sir. Mr. Vaishnaw, let me begin with what's occupying the minds of many people, which is around AI. There's a huge debate around AI around the world with around deep tech. You have said that our foundational AI model for India will be ready in, say, next 5 or 6 months. Are we on track for that, sir?
Absolutely, we are on track. See, if you look at the talent concentration that we have in our country, among the highest talent nations is India. When we look at how we are democratizing the access to AI GPUs, compute power, our model has been today appreciated by everybody, right? So we have already got 14,000 GPUs empaneled and another round getting soon. So combine these two, the talent as well as the compute power which is available for many people to use. This has given us a very good edge to our developers and our startups, and it's going very well. I must say, I recently read a tweet from, I think Sam Altman tweeted, the way our country has adapted AI, it's phenomenal. It's really, really huge, enthusiastic adoption of AI.
So also on the first Made in India chip, you would put a deadline of September, October this year. How realistic is that, and is that happening?
Oh, that's very much on track. All the 5 units construction going on very well. The plants are now getting set up. At some places, the validation of the machinery is going on. So it's absolutely on track to have the first Made in India chip rollout this year.
Right. So you said that we are going to have a foundational model very soon. Are we late in the game? There is this whole debate that, if China could come from behind, produce DeepSeek that has totally shaken Silicon Valley, why couldn't India do that with a fraction of the cost, considering we have the best tech talent in the world? So, do you think we are late in the game? Secondly, sir, where do you stand on this whole debate on whether India should look at models? Should India look at use cases? Because Nandan Nilekani has often said, let the big boys in the valley spend all the money. We will build the best AI applications on top of it. Where do you stand, sir?
See, this is just the first chapter of the AI book. This is just a beginning of what AI can do, what it is going to do in coming years. In the industrial world, we have been using AI for almost 20 years now. Lots of maintenance work, lots of machine, lots of industrial plants, where it was not called AI, it was called machine learning and large data, big data kind of things. Lot of IoTs, lot of sensors, lots of those things were already happening in the industrial world. Now it has come to a B2C kind of consumption, kind of a new setup where practically everybody is using AI. So I wouldn't say that we are late. I would say that since this is just a beginning of this entire new industrial revolution, as many people call it, we are very much in the race, and we will be among the top few countries who have that ability to harness the power of this new technology. Foundational models would be needed. They would be needed for two different reasons. First reason is your ability to have control over, as a country, not just as government, but more as a country, your ability to have control over this very key technology is very, very important. Just like it's very important to have your own telecom stack. Just like it's very important to have your digital infrastructure. Just like it is very important to have your own semiconductor manufacturing and design capabilities. Similarly, we must have the LLM within our ecosystem. Second reason is biases. Biases can be very dangerous. They can really play very negatively, play out very negatively. So it's very important to have the bias-free, diversity embracing, understanding the cultural context of our country, making sure that so diverse a country as we are, we should be able to have the AI understand that and be free from those biases. That's why it's important.
So, on social media, sir, there are issues around fake news, and there is also the DPTP bill which has been passed, which was passed by your government under your tenure. What is the time frame for operationalizing those rules, and when will we see the rubber hitting the road, as it were?
See, the approach that we have followed, there are two things that we have meticulously followed. One, we decided not to make either the rules or the act very prescriptive. We wanted it to be very principles based. Now that's a very different approach from what the Western governments took, that approach. Their approach was very prescriptive, identifying the number of hours and all that kind of stuff, right? So we wanted it to be very principles based. Same thought process we are following in the rules. The second thing that we always followed was, we wanted the entire process to be very consultative. And because of that consultative process, for example, when we were drafting the law, I think we had more than 35,000 inputs from various stakeholders, and we used all those inputs to finally draft our bill. Same process we are following now. The consultation process is in its final laps. Most of the inputs that we wanted have already been received, and we should now be in a position to do the final draft.
Right. In the last week, sir, there's also been this huge debate and discussion in the Indian startup ecosystem on the type of entrepreneurship that is coming out of India. You know, there is a view that India has done very well for itself. It's one of the biggest startup ecosystems in the world. But is there enough depth? Is there enough deep tech being built? Or are we stuck with gig workers, delivery apps, fancy cookies and ice creams? What is your view on this, sir?
I think in our economy and our country, there is a space for practically everything. I must share with you that some of these startups are really working on very good, very key, very difficult technologies. For example, there is a startup, I wouldn't take the names, which is working on developing a chip. It's basically software. It's a fabless company, and their chip will be used in mobile. There are other companies which are working on variety of different semiconductor as well as AI technologies. There are more than 100 startups in IIT Madras itself, which are deep tech startups. So I think there is a space for all. Ultimately, what does a startup or an entrepreneur try to do? They try to solve a problem. So solving a problem in every space is required. Every sector is required. So I think in our economy, there is a space for all.
तो जो लोग कहते हैं कि सरकार और क्या कर सकती है स्टार्टअप इकोसिस्टम को इंकरेज करने के लिए कि लोगों के इश्यूज हो रहे हैं, उस पे आपकी क्या प्रतिक्रिया रहेगी?
देखिए, सरकार ने अपनी तरफ से बहुत बड़ा एक रोल प्ले किया है. 10 साल पहले अगर आप देखते हैं तो स्टार्टअप्स कितने 300-400 ही थे. आज 1.5 लाख से ज्यादा है. सरकार ने एक पूरा एक एनवायरनमेंट क्रिएट किया जिससे भारत एक 3rd लार्जेस्ट स्टार्टअप इकोसिस्टम बना है. सभी का रोल होता है. कोई भी ताली एक हाथ से नहीं बजती है. सभी को अपनी अपनी तरफ से प्रयास करने पड़ते हैं. और मैं कहता हूं कि आज के स्टार्टअप्स में वो एनर्जी है, वो एक एंथुजियाज्म है, वो एक काम करने का जो जज्बा है वो है. एंड आई एम वेरी हैप्पी विद द वे आवर स्टार्टअप्स आर वर्किंग ऑन अ वैरायटी ऑफ प्रॉब्लम्स दैट दे आर ट्राइंग टू सॉल्व.
Right. If I can slip in a question here about Elon Musk. You know, on the one hand, the government has sort of rolled out the red carpet with respect to Starlink. But on the other hand, we are also seeing a very fierce battle where Elon Musk's ex has sued the Indian government in court because of the Sahyog portal. As the nodal minister, where do you stand on this?
Listen, this is not the first time that social media platforms have filed cases or suits against government. It's a very common thing, and ultimately every company, whichever company, has to work within the framework of the constitution and the framework of the laws that are passed by the parliament.